Hello, and today we've got John Collins, former footballer who played for Hibs, Monaco, among many others. So, John, how are you today?
Fantastic, thank you, Angus. Really good.
So let's start off. What is your first memory of playing football?
Oh, first memories goes back to my housing scheme in Shields as a young boy, playing with my big brother, my little brother, and friends out in the street. That's where it all started for me, many years ago. And funny as it is, a rugby town, Shields, but we were a footballing family.
Great. So, what is the first professional team you played for?
Well, I joined Hibs at 16. I left school just before my 16th birthday. Left school at Christmas time. Joined Hibs as an apprentice and had 6 fabulous years at Hibs. Very fortunate there. The manager gave me my debut at 16 years of age, which was a huge thing for any footballer. You ask them probably what's the biggest and most important moment is that first team making that debut, that breakthrough. And giving you the confidence. And for a manager, Pat Stanton at the time was a famous Hibs manager, Hibs player, and for him to give me my debut at 16 I'm forever grateful to him, and I still see him at the games, and I always say a big thank you to him.
So, what is the best team you played for?
Well, that's easy. The best team I played for was my Monaco team. Went to Monaco in '96. We won the French title my first season there. Fairly comfortable. We had a wonderful team. We had the 2 years I was there, we had 2 great runs in Europe. UEFA Cup the first year, semi-final. We got beat by Inter Milan, unfortunately. And then the second year we had another great run in the Champions League. And unfortunately losing to Juventus in the semi-finals. But it was an outstanding team. 22 international players in the squad. Had to fight hard to keep your place in the team. We were an exciting team, full of speed and skill. Thierry Henry, a lot of people know Thierry Henry, Trezeguet. So many good players in that team. I think actually 4 players went on to win the World Cup for France.
So, what's the best game you played in?
It's a difficult one. I played in so many memorable games. A lot of people think it's going to be Scotland. The World Cup opening match was a memorable game, but at the end of the day, we lost it. So it was a disappointing outcome in the end, although I scored the equaliser. But when you lose the game, it takes the shine off it. I think one of my probably most memorable games is going to be my Old Firm game where I scored my first Old Firm goal for Celtic against Rangers at Celtic Park. Rangers were on an unbeaten 40-game run that season. It was probably Rangers' best ever team, or one of them anyway. And I scored my goal at Celtic Park and went on to win the game. So that was a memorable occasion for me.
So, you've played with so many great players, Henry. So, who was the best teammate you played with?
Probably somebody you haven't heard of. The best player my first year at Monaco was a striker called Sonny Anderson. He was a Brazilian. Played the first season, as I said, and then the second, he got sold at the end of the season to Barcelona. You'll have to check this, but I think it was the most expensive transfer in the world at the time. He was a great striker, quick, skillful, good in the air, 2-footed, but he never really hit it big at Barcelona. But for me, playing with him, and on the training pitch, he was a superb player.
So, what was the worst stadium you played in?
Worst stadium I played in? Wow. I'll have to have a think about that. Worst stadium. I don't want to insult a poor little Scottish club. Obviously, it's going to be a small club in Scotland with limited resources, but I don't want to mention that. It's not a nice one. But there's a little small when you get drawn in the cups.
Yeah.
Lots of small teams through no fault of their own have limited financial resources.
So, you scored the first goal in the new Predator boots, but was that the best boot you wore?
It's funny. From the first day I put a Predator boot on, I loved it. But I can say from all the Adidas boots. The Copa Mundial was a great Adidas boot. They were the moulded studs. The older people that listen to this will remember the Copa. Actually, you can still buy Copas. They're very comfortable, but the Predator was good for me. I scored a few goals with the Predators, important ones as well.
Just finally, what was the last goal you scored?
My last goal for wow, good question. I honestly could not tell you that. It must be for Fulham, my last club, and I couldn't tell you who it was against or where. Sorry, but it would be my last club, Fulham.
What about the last game you played in?
The last game, my last full 90 minutes was for Fulham as well. Sad days. I can't remember. I honestly cannot remember the last game I played in.
So, last question. What about the last time you paid for a ticket to a game?
Last time I paid for a ticket, probably I paid for a ticket. I probably bought Celtic Rangers tickets, but probably not for me, for other people. I'm very fortunate I can usually get tickets for Champions League games and big games through my contacts at UEFA and at the clubs in Scotland and England. But obviously, when friends ask me, I sometimes have to buy them for friends. Probably an Old Firm game. Everybody's always after tickets for Old Firm games.
I bet. Right, John. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Angus. Good luck.
Thank you.